everyone, this is Austin Wiebe, just making another video. In the Old Testament there's a bunch of commands. Basically God saying, here's a bunch of things that really bother me, don't do them, right? And in the New Testament there's a bunch of commands where Jesus basically says, if you've even thought about doing this, you've already done it in your heart, right? You've gone too far. It's kind of like, for those of you who are parents, you kind of know what this is all about, right? You make a rule with your kids, and it's just like they want to see how close they can go to breaking that rule before it actually becomes breaking the rule, right? And it's just like, if they're even just thinking about it, it's like, man, you may as well just do it because it's bothering you that much, right? But this kind of reminds me of a story, actually. I was invited out to a cabin when I was younger, and I was just sitting on the dock and I had my feet in the water, and there was another kid beside me, maybe about 5 years old, wearing a life jacket, had his feet in the water too. We were the only two there. And, he just had his feet in the water, and his dad walked up behind him and grabbed him by that little loop on the life jacket and just dipped his kid in the water and pulled him out. His kid was freaking out, and, his dad basically just cradled him and said, I've told you not to play by the water's edge. Don't even get your feet wet. What would have happened if I hadn't been there to pull you out? Right? And his kid just turned around and hugged his dad. His dad hugged his kid, and it was really a beautiful picture. But really got me thinking about how we handle sin a lot of the time. A lot of the time we want to see how close we can get to sinning before it actually becomes sin, right? And Jesus is just, I gotta think he's out there just going like, you know what? You've thought about it so much, you may as well just do it. You're getting so close to that line, you may as well just do it because, it's just ridiculous, right? If you thought about these sins ahead of time, you've already done it, right? Action doesn't happen without a thought. So, if you thought about it, you're well along your way, right? But sometimes we like to dabble our feet in sin. And then we act like it's God's fault somehow when we fall into our sin. Right? Like, oh God, how could you let me fall in? How could you let me fall in? It wasn't his fault that we fell in. Right? We were dabbling our feet. It's our own fault that we fell in. But God's just kind of going, you know what? There's a bunch of times in the Old Testament where God said he handed people over to their sin. And it's just so that we can remember what it was like to be in God's arms, what it was like to be in God's care, right? So my encouragement to you guys is simply, don't dabble in sin anymore. We all have that one sin that's kind of a vice and it's got a hold of us. Don't dabble in that sin anymore. Just get rid of it at any cost. And, just remember what it's like to be in the Father's arms. Thank you.